Is Notre Dame still an elite team?
Oh, I think they definitely are, Mark. Maybe not one of the better teams in the country, but they are 3-0, and they do not play anybody on the schedule they aren't very capable of winning. The thing that encourages me about Notre Dame is they have a very solid quarterback. They have good receivers, good running back. Their offensive line's a question mark. However, you win championships with defense. Notre Dame's made the transition from a 4-2-5 to a 3-3-5. We saw against Purdue last week. It was very, very effective. And as I think, as Notre Dame continues to get better, they will beat Wisconsin. Then the main two teams on their schedule after that, of course, would be Cincinnati and possibly North Carolina, although they're up and down. I think Southern Cal is dangerous, but with a out-of-head football coach and the game at Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame prevails. So, yeah, I think they're an elite team.
After watching Alabama get bum rushed by Florida on the ground, is Alabama vulnerable?
I think Alabama is vulnerable, but not because that they aren't a great football team. Let's remember, Florida's gone like 12 straight games with over 400 yards total offense, and their quarterback, Jones, just ran the ball very, very well. It was at the Swamp. It's a difficult place to play. Alabama did prevail. They were up by 18-3, I think it was, early in the first quarter, but I think that Alabama's still a great football team. I think O'Brien being the offensive coordinator at Alabama this year is their savior. I think he's done an outstanding job thus far with a great young quarterback, and I think he'll continue to do so. But will Alabama prevail undefeated? That is very difficult to say because that conference is so tough. You look at Ole Miss, you look at A&M, you look at Auburn, et cetera. So they still have a long way to go, but they are a good football team.
Will there be any undefeated teams this season? And if so, how many?
Well, with the playoff, the maximum will be one. I don't think there'll be any. I think that every championship this year will have at least one loss. I think that you look at going into the playoffs, somebody may be undefeated, Alabama, Oklahoma, et cetera, but I don't see anybody that just dominates. I thought Oklahoma would be a much better football team. I felt that with a Big 12 schedule, other than Iowa State and Texas, they should be able to prevail. But they have not played very well against Tulane. They were lucky to win. And against Nebraska, it was much closer than anybody anticipated. So until they get their thing going, I think Alabama would be the only one that could possibly go into the conference race undefeated. And I think that somebody will beat them.